Show in my playbook tonight. In my cross-country tour this week, it's become evident that people aren't as sure of President Obama as they used to be. Progressives think the president has fallen short on the expectation that he would end the Bush-Cheney doctrine of war. Last night, it became clear to me just how disappointed people are with where we stand in Iraq and Afghanistan. I expressed my dissatisfaction with what's going on over there, and that was met with a standing ovation. People expected, I expected, President Obama to do more to bring our troops home. We still support him, but the issue is a sleeping giant that could keep Democrats apathetic and at home this fall. For more on this, let's bring in Jon Soltz, Iraq war veteran and chairman of VoteVets.org. Jon, good to have you on tonight. Politically, is this just a lingering sore for the White House? Because there was such expectation that we would be scaling down. It seems like we're scaling up. What do you think?
Well, Iraq, we're scaling down, but that's mostly because of the SOFA agreement that was already in place by July of next year. So I think with Iraq, you know, the president, he's safe politically. I think with the Afghanistan situation, though, he adopted this coin strategy. You hear us talk about it, counterinsurgency operations, which is really essentially what the Bush policy was in Iraq with the surge, which is massive amounts of troops providing security for the population. And he's not paying, I think, the price for it in this very second, but I think in the long haul, it's going to be a real big problem for him because he's really adjusted fire there, put more amount of troops in there, and really relying on an Afghan government and their agency process the work that can't work. So I think it's going to eventually be a big problem for him politically.
Well, it wasn't about a year ago we kept hearing all this conversation about General McChrystal and what his plan was and how this was going to work and how they had a blueprint for making things better. Take us from there to where we are right now. Where does VoteVets.org stand on this?
Well, VoteVets actually, although we would come on this network very often and support the president's policies in Iraq, did not endorse the president's policy in Afghanistan because our members, 100,000 plus members, did not support this counterinsurgency strategy. We don't feel counterinsurgency strategy is a viable option for the United States because the amount of troops that it takes. I mean, if you watched your show this evening, you'll hear about the economic problems in this country and the amount of debt we have across the board. And so you're talking about billions and billions of dollars into these wars for basically chasing ghosts around countries. And what counterinsurgency does is it takes massive amounts of troops to block and secure population centers. And that's what General McChrystal has lobbied basically publicly the president for. And that's not a viable strategy, we feel. We want a very trimmed down mission, something that focuses on al-Qaeda, but not just in Afghanistan, globally. And that's just not going to happen. We don't have the time or the money or the manpower of our army to basically do this in the timetable the president laid out at West Point. So it's a concern for us and our organization.
Jon Soltz, good to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much. Jon Soltz, VoteVets.org. Some final